Good morning. Hi, I'm Pam Fox. Thanks for being here this morning. Well, happy miracle morning to those of you who are up and practicing your miracle morning. Today's video, I am going to talk about the first practice in the savors of the miracle morning, which is silence. So, why silence, and what does that really mean? What can that mean? So, I know it can mean a lot of different things for different people. Oftentimes, obviously silence, it's sitting and being still and being quiet. For some people, they like to just empty the mind, listen to the sounds around them. I've got some birds singing this morning, which is really cool. So stillness, quietness, listening, emptiness. For me, and this is really, silence is another word for meditation, right? Isn't it? And for me personally, I've tried meditating many times throughout my life, and what I've found is that it's very difficult, isn't it? A lot of you probably know what I mean, who don't have a meditative practice that they've done consistently for some period of time. And so it can be very frustrating when you're trying to empty your mind, and that's difficult to do. I mean, who can just not think of anything? Just empty your mind and not think of anything. That takes a lot of practice to get to that point. And so you find yourself, thinking about your day or circumstances, or, I forgot to brush my teeth or whatever. And so you kind of get frustrated and they're like, oh, I'm supposed to be emptying my mind. Oh, shoot, I screwed up. So that can be very difficult. So what I want to offer this morning is how I do my silence, how I meditate, what I focus on. I don't empty my mind necessarily. But my practice, my meditative practice, has helped me to become more able to calm myself down, to reset my mind, and in a sense, to empty my mind in those moments of stress. So one of the benefits and the reasons why we meditate is to give ourselves a tool that helps us to manage our stress, that helps us to be calm even when there's craziness going on in our lives and around our lives, to bring it back down, to center ourselves, to reset, and to be at peace, regardless of our circumstances. And isn't that a wonderful and beautiful and amazing thing if we could be able to do that? If we could be able to, all throughout our lives, just to be able to reset, to be able to calm, to slow down the breath, to slow down the heart rate, and to be at peace, regardless of what's going on. So that's the point of it. That's the point of meditation. Well, one of the points. And so I'm going to share this morning how I meditate, my personal practice, because I found it to be very meaningful and powerful. And so for me, my meditative practice is more of a spiritual practice. And I just want to say, I want to make sure to mention that I know that here on this group, in the Up Your Game Facebook group, there are many faiths, there are many beliefs, there are people of, different faiths, of no faith. And that's okay. And I want this channel to be a place where everybody feels comfortable and everybody feels respected. So, but it is my channel. And so I can only share what I do and what I'm passionate about and what has worked and been meaningful in my life. So that's what I'm going to do. And my meditation is more of a spiritual practice. So this is what I basically do. I come into a still, quiet place, and I have 5 things that I do. And there are 5 different short little kind of sentences or one-liners that I focus on, and then I breathe. So the first thing that I do is I come into the presence of God and I say, be still and know that I'm God. And this is a scripture in the Bible that I heard many, many years ago when I was going through a very, very tough time in my life. And it hit me hard. It was very meaningful to me. Do you guys just hear something and it just hits you? It's the timing and their place, and in the right time, in the right place, it just is very meaningful to you. So it's just always been a very meaningful scripture to me. Be still and know that I'm God. And so I say that, and then I breathe in and I breathe out. And I just reflect on that for a moment. And so the reason I want to share my personal meditative practice is because I do focus on things throughout my meditation. And they are meaningful to me, and they help me to relax and sometimes my meditative practice, I have some very amazing experiences, some really just beautiful and meaningful experiences during my meditation. But I also slow down my breath, and I also am calm, and I also am in a state of relaxation and of continued relaxation, which is, the benefit of meditation. It helps you to relax, reduce your blood pressure. There have been studies that show that it is effective at reducing blood pressure as medication. So which would you rather do? So that's number one. Be still and know that I'm God. Breathe in, breathe out. And when you exhale, this is really, really key during meditation, interesting, that you look for the tension in your body as you're exhaling, and you let that go as you breathe out. So that's number one, be still and know that I'm God. Number two is I come before God in a position of humility. So I will say, I come before you with a humble and repentant heart. Breathe in, breathe out. And again, looking for the tension, and really take some time as you exhale and linger. Really just focus on fully exhaling and deflating the lungs, looking for that tension. Sometimes we carry tension in our forehead and our eyes and our jaw and our tongue. A lot of people in the neck and the shoulders, just let that go. And a lot of people in the belly. So we've been trained our whole lives to sit up straight, to suck in our gut, and to hold it tight all the time. And I've done a lot of videos about this. So it's important during meditation, yes, let that tension go in your belly. This isn't the time for posture and for sucking your gut and to hold those, abdominal muscles tight. Let that tension go. Breathe in, breathe out, let it go, let it go, let it go. So that's number two. I come before you with a humble and repentant heart. Another scripture that I love is God opposes the prideful or the arrogant, but he gives grace to the humble. So coming before God with a humble and repentant heart isn't like a pity party or a negativity thing. It's just coming before God and recognizing that I'm not perfect. It's recognizing that I'm bad sometimes, that I do bad things, that I screw up, that I fall short. It's just recognizing that. So it's coming from taking yourself from a place of pridefulness, which we all are, right? We all, we want to show the world how beautiful we are. We want to show the world how smart we are, how talented, how successful we are. That's what we want people to see. So when we come before God in a place of calm, peaceful silence, we recognize that we're not perfect. And so, God, I come before you with a humble and repentant heart. That's number two. The third thing that I do is I ask, in a sense, I pray. And it's just very simple. I just ask God's blessing on people in my life. So, God, will you bless my husband? God, will you bless my children? And I say the names of our children. And so I just ask God's blessing on the people that I love. And so I do it individually. God, I ask your special blessing on my husband, Dwayne. Breathe in, breathe out. And again, relaxing the body, releasing the tension, lingering on the exhale, focusing on that prayer, and then I move on. And so one of the great things about this way of meditation for me has been that I can meditate for 5 minutes easily. I can meditate for 10 minutes easily. I can meditate for 15 minutes easily because I have something that I'm focusing on. I say the line, I breathe in, focus on it, breathe out, tension, release the tension, slow down the breath, relaxed, calm. And so maybe you've tried a meditative practice and you've thought, this is crazy. I just cannot focus on nothing. So this way you're focusing on something, you're still focusing on the breath, you're still focusing on the relaxation, but in the mind, you're focusing on things that are beautiful and positive. And what could be wrong with that, right? This is just a wonderful practice. So that's the fourth thing, is asking God's blessings on the people in my life, my loved ones. And then the fifth thing that I do, 4 or 5, am I losing track? The next thing that I do is I plant seeds of intention. And again, these are short little one-liners. So these are like the things that are going on in my life. Maybe it's a big long-term goal. Maybe you want to become a naturopathic doctor. And so I plant that seed of becoming a naturopathic doctor. Breathe in, breathe out. And what I do is I picture a garden. So you're planting these seeds of intention, and I picture a beautiful garden where everything is ideal and flourishing and beautiful. And so you plant the seed. Maybe you want to become a more courageous person. So I plant the seed of becoming a more courageous person. Breathe in, breathe out, and you focus, you see that seed going into the ground, and maybe you see a beautiful blueberry shrub that's just so loaded to the ground with big, beautiful, bright blue, juicy blueberries that they're just like hanging from the branches. So you picture this vibrance and this success and this ideal beauty. Maybe it's a really, really tall tree. Maybe it's a beautiful flower, but you picture something beautiful, and you just imagine that this seed of intention that you're planting is something that you desire within your own life. Maybe you want to become a more compassionate person. Maybe you want to, maybe it's something simple. Maybe it's something, not so simple, but you plant that seed of intention of your true heart's desires, of what you want to become, who you want to be in your life. And you just imagine that becoming, beautiful. And then the last thing that I do is I give thanks for all of these things that I actually skipped one going back after I come before God with a humble and repentant heart. I usually try to think of a couple of things that I'm thankful for. So I'm thankful for my job. Breathe in, breathe out. I skipped that one. But then at the very end, I just give thanks over all of this. I say, God, I give thanks for what you're doing in my life, and I give thanks for what you are going to do in my life. And I learned this from, have you guys read Jen Sincero's book, You're a Badass? She was talking about this, and it just really resonated with me that I give thanks for what you're doing in my life, but I also give thanks for what you're going to do in my life. And that's just putting yourself in a position of trusting in God, trust in the Lord with all your heart. It puts you in a position of knowing that you're doing your best, but that's all we can do. And the rest of it is just relaxing and relying on God, regardless of what happens. Sometimes things don't go our way. And so we just, we're humble and we're confident and we're trusting in the Lord that things, are going to be okay, regardless of if they go our way or not. And so, yeah, that's about it. It's that time of day where and I just heard this morning on the radio. They were talking about how when you wake up, your body, it's a clean slate, and your body's like a dry sponge, physically, mentally, spiritually. We are a dry sponge. So how do you want to start out your day? You want to drink some water if your cells are dry. You want to bathe those cells in water. But what about your spirit? And so it's just a beautiful time to take 5 minutes to be silent and to bathe your spirit in something beautiful. In love and trust and hope and all good things. And so, yeah, I hope that you'll try this out, and share below on the Facebook page if you're doing the Miracle Morning, and if you have a meditative practice, if you have any tips and how you meditate and what works for you. Okay. All right, so that's it, and I hope y'all have an awesome day. Thanks for watching.